Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
You are listening to the Brilliance Business Show, conversations with leading experts in business. I am your host, Mark Stephen Pooler. And today I have the most wonderful guest, Howard Stephen Berg. Howard is the one and only, the world's fastest reader. And we have so many great topics to talk about today. And our main topic is all about the power of going green, reducing national debt and saving millions of jobs. Howard, welcome to the Brilliance Business Show.
Thank you for having me.
Howard, I am super looking forward to a conversation with you today. Before I get started, I just need to make a legal disclaimer that Howard is not offering legal advice or legal assistance. So let's get started with the show. Now, Howard, you have so many talents, so many skills. You are really serving the world and community. And we have so many topics that I want to talk about today, including being the world's fastest reader and all your strategies about going green. So I think a great place for us to start is, in your own words, to share a little bit of your story for us, because it's really fascinating.
Well, I grew up in Brooklyn in a bad part, East New York, projects, lots of gangs, very violent. I found one safe place, the library. Gang kids would rather be dead than in the library. So I read a lot. So I had college reading when I was 11. I went to the State University of New York, Binghamton, one of the top public colleges in the U.S. at 17 to major in biology. In my junior year, I got interested in how the brain works. So I told the dean I want to do bio and psych. He says, you have one term left, one year left. You have to do the whole 4-year psych program in 1 year, finish the bio program. And I had 3 jobs. I was working 18 hours a week. He said, you're not smart enough. And that's when it hit me. They didn't teach me how to learn in school. Told me what to learn, why to learn. What would happen if I didn't learn? But not why you hear a song once on the radio, you remember it your whole life. And then you read the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and you don't know any habits the next day. Well, I learned how to learn. I got up to 80 pages a minute. I did the psych program in 1 year. I took the graduate record exam in biology. I studied 48 books in 3 nights for the test, like biochemistry, cell physiology, genetics. I got 3 questions wrong. So I was in the 99th percentile in the world. And then I wondered, was it me or the system? So I started a school. I taught kids 11 to 15 the same techniques. They did a college course, sophomore college course, lifelong developmental psych in 1 week, 30-chapter book, and 15 out of 18 passed the course using an AP test. And then I realized I was onto something important. It wasn't just that I could learn faster, I could teach it, even to children. I've taught the U.S. Special Forces at Fort Bragg and the Royal Thai Army in Bangkok and many Fortune 500 companies, and the president of my Rotary Club. I love helping kids learn, and that's been my passion. I love working with adults and companies and schools, but I've always gotten the most enjoyment out of building a future for these young people when they have so many challenges they have to face. And that's what I've been doing with my life.
You just have such a unique and fascinating story, Howard. You have built a great learning platform at berglearning.com, and getting education and learning when you're younger, sometimes it's difficult to really grasp what you're meant to be learning, like you have mentioned. So it's just really, really great, especially through these testing times. children's education has really, really suffered. People have been homeschooling. So some of these techniques, what you do to help people learn better, they're needed now, Howard, more than ever. Now, I would like to touch on a little bit about you being the world's fastest reader. No one else can say that, Howard. Tell us all about that.
Well, the short answer is I read faster than everyone else, but that's probably not the answer you're looking for.
Well, not really. We need some juice here to help us all be able to read better, Howard.
Well, let me give you the short story. Speed reading doesn't work the way it's traditionally taught. It's done through mechanics. In fact, about 30 years ago, I was with the famed talk show host, Dick Cavett. And we became friends after my interview, and he told me how Woody Allen had taken Evelyn Woods, and he read War and Peace in 5 minutes. He says, "That's amazing. What do you remember?" He says, "It's about the Russian Revolution. That's it." And that was speed reading. It was a bio book. It was a book about math, but you didn't really learn bio or math or anything about the Russian Revolution. I had to learn 6 science courses at the same time. I had to actually learn. The difference is, instead of just doing mechanics, I took what I learned about the brain and how it learns. So we use brain-based learning strategies. So we use reading to find what we don't know, brain-based learning strategies to figure out the meaning and significance of what we found, especially when it's confusing, memory skills to remember and retain it so we don't forget it in 5 minutes, emotional intelligence skills so we're in the right state to use it. If you get nervous taking a test or speaking in public, you might not remember what you learned. And so by combining a bunch of learning strategies and brain-based learning tools, I was able to create a unique approach to learning. And later in the interview, I'll share some of the strategies that I created, but I wanted to talk about something that we figured out using these strategies, which is how to go green, build a lot of jobs, and eliminate the U.S. deficit all at the same time.
Yes, I really, really want to talk about this, Howard, and it's so valuable what you have thought about, what you're creating, and the strategies that you have got behind it. And it's really could really make such a big impact in the world. Firstly, can we just talk a little bit about some of the problems post-COVID and post-Trump?
Yes. Well, one of the biggest problems is they're trying to do online learning as if it was classroom learning. It's not. We did it online as well. My students did phenomenal. Stephen graduated UTA at 16 with a 4.0. Majoring in economics, had a master's in math at OU at 19 with 397. Brad was an attorney at 19. Another student was able to do 4-year college in 6 months and became a missionary, learned Chinese in 3 weeks, sold his company when he hit 40 for $38 million using the techniques. The difference is what they need to do, what we did is we gave the students reading, and then we gave them questions, and they were all essay questions. So there was no flubbing it. You either knew it or you didn't know it. No one moved on to the next lesson until they got an A. There's no B's, no C's, no D's. You earned the A. And so they would have to answer the questions based on the reading. If they got it wrong, we told them it was wrong to fix it. After 2 or 3 tries, we would give them clues. We never gave them the answer. We kept giving them clues so they would figure it out, learn how to think. You're never going to be a success in life if you can't think. If everybody gives you the answers to everything, you'll never learn how to think for yourself. When they had trouble, instead of just doing it online, what we did is the students that were flying along, like one 10-year-old did a whole year of biology in a single week. You say, well, how well did he do? Well, his essay questions included explain the genetic code and how it works. What's a mitochondria? If you're 11 years old and you can answer 300 of those questions in essay form and get 2 or 3 wrong, you've learned high school biology.
Yes.
But if you didn't, what we did is we had the mentor call the student and work on them one-on-one. So in the subjects where they were doing well, they would fly. They were able to do it as quickly as they could learn. Instead of learning based on a clock, it was based on understanding and performance. And until you got an A, you didn't move on. But we made sure they got an A by learning the material. And when they struggled, we assisted them through personal mentoring. This way, the teacher's focus is on the person struggling, and the person who's moving along at an unbelievable pace is not held back waiting for that person to figure it out. And so a lot of our students were able to do college in 2 to 3 years. And as I mentioned, Brad did it in 6 months by going to Thomas Edison, where you can test out of 90% of your classes, and did 5 tests a week and 1 online class. So it's doable. And by changing the model from the classroom traditional model to one that incorporated brain-based learning, before we taught them any content, we taught them how to read faster, how to remember, how to do math, how to think. So they were able to perform at a high level. When they were 11 years old, they were in college.
Amazing work. And it's just really, really clever that you can teach this to people, Howard, because a lot of people do struggle with reading, learning, attention. These are big, big problems in the world. Now, I would really like to touch on going green and how it's going to help national debt and save millions of jobs. That's a big, big statement, and it's so, so awesome. Tell us a little bit about that and some of the smart thinking techniques behind it.
Well, as I mentioned, I majored in science, and I've also read about 30,000 books, which helps you to have a better grasp of what's going on. You have more information. Okay, right now there's a lot of opposition to going green because it's going to threaten jobs in the oil, gas, and coal industry. One of my points is we don't use whale oil anymore to light our homes, and we don't use kerosene lamps. Society moves forward. Green is the future, but they're correct. What are we going to do to prevent so many people from losing their incomes, which is another consideration? Well, I gave some thought to it, and I found a solution. We make electricity through 2 basic mechanisms. One is hydropower, where water turns a turbine, or the other way is steam. Steam is made with coal, oil, gas, or nuclear fusion. And no, not fusion. I think it's fusion. And so what happens is there's heat, it creates steam. The steam turns a generator, which is basically a coil of wires wrapped around a magnet, or a magnet inside a coil of wire. It's the 2 ways you can do it. Whether the magnet's spinning or the wire is spinning.
Yes.
And that's how electricity is basically made. Yes, there's other things like solar power and wind power, but essentially that's the bulk of the world's electrical generation. Well, in Iceland, they're using something very unique. Iceland is basically a volcano. And so the magma is very close to the surface, and there's a lot of water. So they're using the geothermal heat of the magma to generate the steam that powers their electrical generation. There's zero pollution. They're using the Earth's own heat, so they don't have to burn anything. They don't have to burn any coal or wood or oil or gas. It's right there from the Earth. Well, that's great. You're Iceland. You're a volcano. What about the United States? We could safely say the United States is not a volcano. However, there is an exception to that. Yellowstone Park contains one of the largest supervolcanoes on the planet. Over 300 miles of magma, an abundance of water, and it's on federal property. Now imagine you go to the oil, gas, and coal companies, and you get them to fund this because it's the future. I'm willing to bet it's easier to find magma in Yellowstone than a new gigantic oil field. They've been doing this now for so long. Finding new and large fields is getting more and more difficult. They're going to run out of fields eventually, but there's plenty of magma. And so you go to Yellowstone and you use the power, the money from the oil, gas, and coal companies to build geothermal power plants. You retrain the people in coal, oil, and gas, and many of the people who've lost their jobs during COVID to build the infrastructure. And there's zero pollution because we're using the Earth's geothermal heat to generate the steam that creates the power. But we have to get it to distribute across the country, creating infrastructure and jobs, and also having the maintenance jobs to keep it functioning. Finally, it's on federal park land, which means the government can charge a usage fee for every kilowatt of power generated on federal park land. And they can use that usage fee and target it specifically towards paying off the national debt. And since a large amount of electricity would be created in this way, one, it would help the US go green. Two, it would eliminate part of the debt, if not most of it, over time. And it would provide a number of jobs for people whose livelihoods would have been threatened by the new green movement. Instead, it becomes a new opportunity and an investment opportunity for the companies who would have lost income had the country gone green, like an Exxon Mobil or a major coal producer or oil producer or natural gas producer. They now have a new source of revenue that'll continue to make them profitable into the next century and help turn the country green at the same time. So we've solved three problems. How do we get green without eliminating those critical jobs that people need, and at the same time help to pay off the national debt? And by getting private industry to contribute a large portion of the money, not only is it profitable to them, but doesn't cost the country a fortune getting it set up. And this could be done. It could easily be done because the model already exists. We know that in Iceland, this very model of using geothermal heat to create electricity is successfully being utilized.
Howard, that is definitely smart thinking, and it's just a win-win-win. We need all the political leaders to take notice of this. I'm calling out to President Biden to give this man some opportunity to share all of this smart thinking and techniques. This is going to make such an impact to the world, the environment, debt, saving jobs. I can really see how this is a game changer. Howard, congratulations for being such a great mind. Now, I would like to go next to the question of the day. Can you share with us some techniques of how to read and how to remember, Howard?
Absolutely. In fact, I'd love to do that right now so that the people listening can begin their own learning odyssey. You know,
I would say, Howard, don't give all your experience away, because if anyone wants the full juice of what Howard can do, you must go to berglearning.com. But share with us, Howard, how we can all read and remember better.
I'll do that in a moment. I want to mention reading isn't the goal. The goal is learning. Elon Musk reads 2 books a day. Warren Buffett and Bill Gates read 50 books a year. Look at their bank accounts. Isn't that something you would like? How do they stay ahead of everyone else?
Yes.
They learn. I don't read because I like to read. I read because I like to learn. That we live in an information-based economy. So when people say, why would I want to read fast? I don't even like to read. Do you like to make money? Do you like to be successful? Do you want to be competitive in a world where what you know determines your success? Let me show you how it's done. First, pick a book you've read, preferably a nonfiction book. When this interview is over, time yourself with a timer for 1 minute. Do nothing special. When the timer goes off, take a pencil or a pen, put a little tick mark in the margin where you finish. So you've measured how fast you read now, normally. Now for the secret sauce, go to the second chapter. Open it up, take your hand and go from the left to the right margin, one line at a time, and this is important, with your eyes following your hand as quickly as you could comprehend. So keep increasing the speed at which you move your hand until you no longer understand what you're reading. That's when you know you went too fast. Slow down just enough so your comprehension returns. And for 5 minutes, go at your peak learning rate. If you don't know what you're reading, it's too fast. Your peak learning rate, and do that for 5 minutes. Then go back to the first chapter where you tested yourself. And again, for a minute, time yourself using your hand at your peak learning rate. You're going to be amazed. You're going to blow past that tick mark by 20 to 40%. Just doing that one simple change. That's the first step in the Berg learning system. Now, the second thing is comprehension. Would you agree, Mark? Comprehension's far more important than speed. No one wants to read faster. Learn faster.
Yes.
Harder. Understand it. Use it. Sure. Faster alone? No, that's not what people want. And that's not what I focused on. Remember, I did this so I could take 6 science courses at the college level simultaneously. I had a lot to learn. Well, one of the secrets to learning, and there are many that I've learned in graduate programs and in my brain-based learning studies, is called schema. Schema is how your brain makes sense out of text. Let me demonstrate how it works. Here's a passage that has no schema. Listen to it and see how confusing it is, although the words are simple. This is an easy thing to do. If possible, you could do it at home, but you could always go someplace else if it's necessary. Beware of overdoing it. This is a major mistake. It may cost you quite a bit of money. Now, Mark, most people would say right now, I have no idea what I'm talking about because there's no schema. I'm going to read it again, but with a title. One word, just one, but that word has schema. And watch how instantly it totally makes sense.
Yes.
Laundry. This is an easy thing to do. If possible, you could do it at home. But you could always go someplace else if it's necessary. Beware of overdoing it. This is a major mistake and can cost you quite a bit of money. Now you know it's about doing laundry, so it makes sense. I'm teaching people how to find these critical clues, these schematic clues that make text meaningful. They're like the decoder ring. So even though you're going 2, 3, 4 times faster, we did a double-blind study that showed an average person can go 2 to 4 times faster, most doubled, with excellent comprehension. Your understanding is as good or better because you're using psychology and not just mechanics. Now, the next thing I want to cover is emotional intelligence. You say, what has that got to do with reading? Imagine I teach you to drive. You go for the road test. You failed. Why did you fail? I got nervous. It was a test. That's an emotional intelligence problem. When I was training the special forces and the Royal Thai Army, I was teaching them a lot of EQ skills. Let me show you one of the skills I taught them because it's critical in learning, how to stay energized, awake. Many times they're on a mission 3 or 4 days in a row.
Yes.
And I know they're given very good information. If they get tired and they don't remember it, they could get killed. So here's how to wake up when you're in an important meeting or taking a class or driving in traffic. Now, we know the left side of the brain controls the right part of the body and the left the right. So I want you to do this with me. Take your left hand, touch your right shoulder, take your right hand, touch your left, alternating. So it's like the Macarena without the music. And ideally, you should be standing. We're going to do the next step, taking the left hand to the right knee and the right hand to the left knee, alternating. And you'll notice both sides of your brain are active. One is moving your knee and one is moving your hand. Now grasp your right thumb in your hand and say this like you mean it. I feel great.
I feel great.
With passion. I feel great. Yes.
I feel great.
Because if you don't feel it, it's no state. We're going to do 3 sets of these. And when we're done, I'm going to show you how to use it to wake up instantly whenever you need to. We'll start with the shoulder taps at my rate, starting left to right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Knee taps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How do you feel?
I feel great.
Great. Yes. Next time, a little faster, starting with the shoulder taps. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How do you feel?
I feel great.
Great. Yes. This time as fast as you can go. Ready? Shoulder taps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Knee taps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How do you feel?
I feel great.
Yes. Do you know what happens, Mark, when you do this 3 times? Nothing. Now, you probably would like something, so let me show you how that works. Remember Pavlov? He rang a bell. That's my Rotary bell. I'm the president of my club. Rang a bell, fed a dog. Rang a bell, fed a dog. Rang a bell, the dog drooled. You don't want to drool. And you don't want to be in an important meeting, stand up and start tapping your shoulders. You'll look really strange. The studies show that it takes 90 days to form a habit. So you go slow, medium, fast, and each time I feel great, yes, for 90 days. Now you're in an important meeting or in a class and you're getting tired. You grab your thumb and you say to yourself, I feel great, yes, that's your bell. And your brain remembers every time you did that, you stimulated your brain, left brain, right brain, both together, and you felt more alert. And it brings the state back that you created over time. That's what I was teaching the military to do. And you can do this as well. So when you're taking an important exam or an important presentation and your energy's dropping, you can wake up instantly. The last skill I want to talk about is memory. People say, Howard, you read fast. Do you remember anything? I remember a lot. So can you, but you don't know how. And I'm going to show you now one of many techniques that Berg Learning uses to empower people to remember what they learned so they can use it when they need it. I'm going to give you 10 things to learn. I'm not going to show you how. That's our control. Watch how hard it is without a system. Are you ready?
Yes.
You want to remember pole, shoes, tricycle, car, glove, gun, dice, skate, cat, and bowling pins. Is it safe to say, Mark, you don't know 10 things backwards and forwards perfectly, effortlessly right now?
I can remember about 2 at the moment, Howard.
Normal. 2 or 3 is normal. That's very, very, and most likely they're the ones at the beginning or the end, because that's how the brain works.
Yes.
Now I'm going to show you how to speed learn all of them. And by the way, this isn't an exercise, it's a tool. And when we're done, I'm going to show you to use this tool for the rest of your life. Let me give you a little tip. You remember 10% of what you read and 90% of what you say and do. So everyone listening with you, when I ask you to say and do, please do that so it locks it in, because once you see what this tool can do, you'll be very happy with the outcome. The ancient Greeks discovered a shortcut for memory. They found if you take a list you know that's hanging in your memory, what do you do with a hanger? You hang things on it. And so we're going to use the numbers from 1 to 10 that I bet everyone listening knows and hang those 10 objects we're trying to learn super fast. Are you ready?
I'll give it a go.
The number 1, it looks like a pole, like a flagpole. When I say 1, you say pole. Ready? 1.
Pole.
Perfect. 2 is shoes. How many shoes do you wear, Mark?
2.
What's 2?
Shoes.
What was 1?
Pole.
Perfect. 3 is a tricycle. How many wheels are on a tricycle?
3.
What's 3?
Tricycle.
What's 2?
Shoe.
What's 1?
Pole.
Starting to learn. 4 is a car. How many tires are on a car?
4.
What's 4?
Car.
What was 2?
Shoe.
What was 1?
Pole.
What was 3?
Tricycle.
And please, if you're listening to this, do this with us. It's not just an exercise, it's a tool. 5 is a glove. How many fingers go in a glove?
5.
What's 5?
Glove.
What's 3?
Tricycle.
What's 1?
Pole.
Getting smarter. 6 gun. When I lived in Texas, everyone liked having a gun, like a cowboy, a 6 gun. What's 6?
6 gun.
Good. 4.
Car.
2.
Shoe.
Getting smarter and smarter. 7 is lucky in dice on the first throw. 7 is dice. What's 7?
Dice.
What was 5?
Glove.
3.
Tricycle.
1.
Pole.
You're almost done. Rhymes work. Say 8 skate.
8 skate.
What's 8?
Skate.
6. What did they love in Texas?
6 gum.
Good. 4.
Car.
2.
Shoe.
2 more. 9. How many lives does a cat have?
9.
What's 9?
Cat.
7's lucky in what game?
Dice.
That's right. Dice. 5.
Gun.
5.
Glove.
Right. 3.
Tricycle.
1.
Pole.
By the way, if you make a mistake and correct it, that's good. That's how the brain learns. 10 is bowling pins. How many bowling pins are in an alley? 10. So 10 is?
Bowling pin.
Okay, let's do the list together now that you couldn't do a few minutes ago. 1.
Pole.
2.
Shoe.
3.
Tricycle.
4.
Car.
5.
Glove.
6. What do they love in Texas?
Gun.
7 is lucky in?
A dice.
8 rhymes with?
Skate.
9 is a?
Cat.
What was 10?
Bowling pole.
How's
Bowling
it make
pin.
you feel? How does it make you? I feel great. Yes, when you feel great, do that. You just learned how to speed learn numbers. Let me show you how to use it. Imagine you're in a hotel room. It's 314. How many times by the time you got to the lobby, you forgot what room you were in? I turn numbers into pictures. 3 is a tricycle. 1 is a pole. 4 is a car. Picture this movie. A tricycle hits a pole on a car. Picture it in your mind. A tricycle hits a pole on a car. Tricycle, what number?
3.
Hits a pole.
1.
On a car.
4.
That's 314. Tricycle, pole, car. Now, a 0 is 10 bowling pins because you need the 0. I teach this to kids in school to learn math and science. 3.14 is pi, which is how you measure a circle. They never remember it. It's tricycle, pole, car. They use it for science. They use it for math. They use it for history dates. People in business use it for percentages, due dates, phone numbers, hotel rooms. Now you know how to speed learn numbers.
Howard, that is so fascinating. And it's really made me think of some things that I feel I am doing correctly as well, Howard. And especially with the touching the shoulders and touching the knees, how it makes the two sides of the brain work together. I am very aware of the importance of the two sides of the brain working together. I call it hemisync, and I use a technology like a binaural beat that helps me to, it gets your mind to focus better. Also, how you said, I feel great. Once you have done that over a certain amount of time and you only have to say that, that's kind of anchoring, isn't it? It's anchored in. And also, I did know the power of pictures because the brain learns in pictures. It's absolutely fascinating. Anyone wanting to really learn better, read better, remember better, and learn from someone who is fun, who is a true professional, who is the world's fastest reader, go to berglearning.com. Howard, I have really enjoyed our interview today. My last question for you. You've achieved just phenomenal things. What is next for Howard Stephen Berg?
Well, we just redid our program. It's in 109 languages. And we're giving some free lessons away on the new website so people can try it risk-free. And when they need help, we have a staff that works with them. And if they can't help them, I do it. I personally work with them. I want everyone to learn this. I'm a Rotarian. We have a 4-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? And so on. And I think that when you work with people, you should actually give them what they paid for. You should actually provide them with the service that they expected. And if you can't do it, you shouldn't charge them. And I make sure everybody learns it so they can use it in their lives, help their kids get higher grades. There's 50% dropout rate in 4-year college, 70% in 2-year college. My students were doing college in 2 to 3 years, and they were 11 years old. If you teach people the right way to learn, they make more money at work, they make better decisions, and seniors stay mentally fit as they get older. So I'm focusing on helping as many people as I can around the world. I'm doing workshops. Once COVID is over, I'm going to be going all over the world again. And I'm looking forward to helping some of our listeners achieve their dreams. And how do you achieve a dream? By learning the information you need to achieve it. It's not a magic trick. If you have more information, you can do more. And an 84-year-old read 3 books in 3 hours the day after I taught her. So it's not an age thing. Anyone can do this if they want to. It's not hard to learn. I made it easy and fun, and I personally make sure they learn it. So there's no risk at berglearning.com. Try some of the free lessons. You'll be amazed with your results and definitely want to try the whole program to get the kind of results you need to succeed in your knowledge-based economy. And I want to thank you, Mark, for having me. And I hope that we've done a lot today to help people learn faster and also show them a way we can solve the energy crisis in the United States, build more jobs, and pay off the deficit.
Howard, I just think you're an incredible human being. You've really, really made my day by just having a conversation with you. I found it fun, entertaining, and I've learned something which I know will make you happy as well. Howard, just one more time, how can our audience get a hold of you?
They can go to berglearning.com. Berg Learning, B-E-R-G. There's more than one way to spell Berg. B-E-R-G learning.com. And if they want to email me, then go to howard@berglearning.com if they want to send an email. But berglearning.com is the website. They'll see some fantastic programs designed with the brain in mind, help them learn, understand, and manage the information their success depends upon. And we will make sure they learn it.
Howard, thank you so much for giving me your time today and being my guest on the Brilliance Business Show.
Thank you for having me.
It's been my pleasure. You have been listening to the Brilliance Business Show, conversations with leading experts in business.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.